Hello, Skele Vaderites and friends of Skele Vader. Thank you so much for tuning in for this video. I have a big announcement. I'm overjoyed and feeling a little bit emotional too. Let's dig into it. Star Wars and Masters of the Universe. Hence, Skele Vader. Skele Vader. Star Wars and Masters of the Universe have always been my two favorite IPs. Star Wars and I go way back. And when I was a kid, I had more Star Wars toys than I did Masters of the Universe. But both have equally been deeply important to me over the years. My appreciation for bright colors and oddball characters comes from Masters of the Universe. My appreciation for sci-fi, fantasy, and oddball characters comes from Star Wars. So I just have a deep appreciation for both of those IPs and always have. That takes me to this really interesting place in my life where I am collecting stuff and I'm trying to get the best deal as I go, and sometimes things just seem out of reach. First example, I never thought I would be able to get the ETERNIA playset that Mattel released not too long ago. I did this trade with Pedro, my friend, and basically he got the very first time and only time I ever made Fright Zone, and he also got the very first Snake Mountain I ever built, and those are both in his collection. And the trade for Fright Zone was essentially the ETERNIA playset. Now, when you acquire toys as a collector, sometimes you run out of space. You see where I'm going with this? Now, I love the ETERNIA playset. However, I had to do some really deep thinking about this. Do I want my collection to be sprawling and include just everything that has interested me over the years? Or do I want to think carefully about what really matters to me as a collector, and how can I take advantage of the toys that I've worked hard to acquire, whether it be spending hard-earned money or trading these artworks that I labored over for substantial collection pieces. I kind of made a difficult decision, and I spoke to a friend of mine over at The Time Machine, Pete, the owner, and we came to an agreement regarding the ETERNIA playset. So my main concern was to find a home for it where it wouldn't be in everybody's way. We don't have a big house. I put it together, and that was exciting to put it together. Taking it apart made me very nervous. Undoing the monorail, and things like that made me very worried. And also, I wanted it to be deeply appreciated in a substantial way. And it was here in our dining room. Like my little office corner is part of our dining room, which is not big to begin with. And so I decided I really needed to think carefully about what I want in my collection for the long term, and also room, like space. I don't have a designated toy room at the moment, and or collection space. And then I also I've been kind of leaning more toward the vintage stuff. So vintage Masters of the Universe and vintage Star Wars, as far as like being very serious and looking for grail pieces and pieces that I've always wanted to reclaim since my childhood. So I got to thinking, what's a grail piece that I could... So first of all, he offered me a good chunk of change for ETERNIA, and I gladly accepted. But then I presented him with an idea and I said, hey, I noticed you had in your store last time I was there visiting a incomplete Millenium Falcon. And ever since I was a kid, there's Castle Grayskull and there's the Millenium Falcon. And I have a vintage Grayskull that is complete, although it's missing one weapon. And I do not have a Millenium Falcon. And Millenium Falcon has been on my grail list for a long time. So not only am I feeling better about finding a home for the Eternia playset, which is now going to be displayed in his store to grab people's attention, and that just warms my heart. I just love that. Whether he sells it or not, it's gonna be in his store grabbing people's attention. That makes me very happy. And then I said, hey, do you have a Millenium Falcon that's in better condition than the one that's in the store? And he said right away, yes. So basically what I did is I went to his store. I took the Eternia playset over there. I got a little emotional taking it over there, but I knew this was the right choice for my family and for my sanity and for the real estate within our little home. I knew it was the right choice. So I did that, took it over. We had a great talk. We went over a few extra things that I brought over, and he brought out the Millenium Falcon, and I fell in love. So I got the Millenium Falcon. It was not an even trade. I acquired the Millenium Falcon along with the additional leftover funds from what he was planning to pay me. So it worked out pretty good. And I think it really worked out well for him and for his store. And I just feel like the toy community constantly amazes me. I'm so glad that my artwork lives with Pedro. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful for the other folks that have commissioned Snake Mountains from me. I'm so thankful that there are toy stores still. And I'm so glad that the thing that I worked hard to acquire with Pedro will now give other people joy rather than just myself. And then I gotta admit, I'm really stoked to have the Millenium Falcon. So really I should thank Pete at The Time Machine for the Millenium Falcon, but I also gotta thank Pedro for the vintage Millenium Falcon too. Thank you both, Pete and Pedro. You are both awesome members of the toy community. There are some folks in the toy community that are just genuinely good people and genuinely want to help their fellow toy collectors build their collections. So with that being said, here's a video of when I drove over and delivered the Eternia playset and then took a walk through the store. And then when we come back after that little excursion, we are gonna take a close look at that Millenium Falcon that I am looking at right over there and just super ecstatic about. Let's do this. Oz, you might know what that is. David St. Hubbins. So awesome. He brought this out for me to have a look at. It's missing some stickers here. He did mention it's missing the ball right here, you know, the training ball. But it's got a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of things. All these cardboard backs are in pretty darn good shape. Okay, so here it is, folks, the Millenium Falcon. Considered one of the greatest play sets of all time. I have to be in agreement with that. It is not complete. It's very hard to find a Millenium Falcon that is complete, but I want to point out things here that make me very happy about this particular Millenium Falcon. Number one, the elements that are here are in pretty good shape. In fact, I just discovered I have a little sticker down here. Look at that, a little sticker that fell off, was right down here at the bottom. Actually, there's a couple of them. Ooh, I get to play with that, reattach some stickers. But yeah, it's missing some stickers here, but I just found a couple of them down there, so that's awesome. It has its legs here, and this one's, two of them are a little bit loose, but they still hold this ship up. It has the gun here, it has the clear plastic piece here. This is something that that gets lost often. Let's go ahead and get the back opened up now. Oh, another thing I want to point out about this particular Millenium Falcon is that, sure, it's missing some of the stickers. I've been watching Toy Polloi. I know I can get some reproduction stickers if I want to. I'm going to hold off on that right now until I make that decision. But I also love that the previous owner of this Millenium Falcon went and painted certain elements on the body of the ship. That's unusual and also really cool. I mean, I'm a fan if my toys look like they've been played with and look like they've been loved. And this one definitely looks like it gave a lot of pleasure to whoever owned it. This is fantastic. There are no chips, no cracks. I love that. This little compartment lid is here. Many of the stickers inside are here. In fact, I believe all of them are. The interior cardboard is in incredible shape. Just wow. So cool. The gunner chair, all this is good. So great to see. It has the drop down door here and both of the props that keep it from opening up all the way. Those are there, which is also something that's hard to find. The person who owned this previously also glued down some black tape here, which I think is interesting. I might actually work on removing that, but the painted elements I'm definitely going to keep, but we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it on there. There's something lovely about that. The game with the holographic pieces, this is here, the sticker is on here. It's great, in great shape. The painted elements, the tape on the hatch, certain things like that are unique for this particular version of the Millenium Falcon. Previously owned and previously loved and played with. It's got most of its stickers, which is fantastic. And it's got most of its pieces. It is missing the training ball that would go here. And you know what? I've been looking online for a training ball that is actually vintage and those are a little steep. I might just get a reproduction, because why not? This is just gonna be my Millennium Falcon, and if I get a reproduction of one of those, it'll still look good and still make me feel good. So, and there she is, folks, the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, now part of the Skele Vader toy collection. I'm so excited, and I'm beside myself. The last thing I need to check on this are the sounds. So I looked inside the battery compartment. It doesn't have any battery acid in there. It's not rusted or anything. So fingers crossed, I'm gonna go get some batteries on Saturday and I'm gonna try it out. So stay tuned for the very end of this video and I'll show you whether or not the sounds work. Fantastic, right? So big thank you to Pete from The Time Machine, and huge thank you to Pedro Perez. I consider you both friends, and I deeply appreciate this relationship we built around toys. Thank you both. Look at this thing. It is a beaut. So thank you so much for watching, every single one of you. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time to the Skele Vader channel, do click like and subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, do click like. Leave comments down below. I love to hear what you all have to say, and I need to say a huge thank you to the patrons of this channel. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, the link is right down below. So huge thank you to Ace, Julia Honer, Allison Troy, MotuOriginsCork, and Thanos Copter. Thank you all so much for your contributions and your ongoing contributions. It means the world to me. And reach out to me through Instagram or Facebook. I'd love to chat with you all about toys. You're welcome to reach out. Now, I gotta also say, this type of experience should be joyful for us. And it gets emotional sometimes. We have our ups and downs. We come to certain realizations about our collection sometimes that we didn't expect. We go through phases. It is a roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster, but it's also joyous too, and it primarily should be joyous for us. So I hope you're all getting some joy out of this video, and I appreciate you all. So I'll see you in the next video. So now let's put them correctly, and you got the plus side here and the minus side here. And are you ready? Let's try this. Yeah, doesn't want to work, but that's okay. I don't need to have any batteries sitting in there rotting. I'm just gonna leave this battery free and make my own sounds. Star Wars and Masters of the Universe, hence Skele Vader.